So first things first, we want to cover the vegan nutrition for mothers and children. Okay, so a well-planned vegan diet, when based on a wide variety of plant foods excluding all animal derivatives, can provide adequate nutrition throughout all stages of life, including pregnancy, lactation, infancy, and childhood. Okay, so it used to be thought that vegan diets diminish nutrients in mother's breast milk. It does not. There used to be thought that vegan mother milk was deficient in carnitine and B2. It's not. Okay? So it's important to understand that the importance of the nutrients in breast milk. A shortage of carnitine in infants can cause low blood sugar and other complications such as brain and heart dysfunction. B2 is important in nutrient metabolism, breakdown nutrients, and using them in your body's tissues. It's important in digestion, maintaining cell membranes, and maintaining the integrity of mucous membranes. Carnitine is present in almost every cell in the body. How vegan diets can provide nutrition. Of course, people know this already. The thing is, you have to learn to identify trolls when you're a vegan. So when somebody posts 20-some comments that are statements in the form of questions that show absolutely no understanding of even a primer of nutrition that you would get in elementary school, that's probably a troll. So if you're going to ask me a bunch of stupid questions, I'm going to block you. Okay? I don't care to bother with people asking stupid questions that they should already know the answers to. But because people want to ask me stupid questions that they should already know the answers to, I'm going to answer those questions. So the vegan diet and breastfeeding and pregnancy, it's never too early to think about good nutrition. All women of childbearing age, women and girls of childbearing age, so when a girl hits about the age of 13, they should start worrying about eating properly. They should be focusing on perfect nutrition, as perfect as they can, okay? But they shouldn't really have to focus on it because their parents should not be dipshits and should already have them on as perfect a nutritional plan as possible. Okay? So you want to eat plenty of foods rich in iron such as lentils, chickpeas, beans, tofu, cashew, nuts, chia seeds, ground flax seeds, hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds, kale, dried apricots, dried figs, raisins, quinoa, and fortified breakfast cereals. Eat plenty of calcium-rich foods. Ensure reliable dietary intake of vitamin B12. Ensure reliable iodine by eating seaweed. Take daily supplement containing vitamin D. Consider microalgae omega-3 supplement like the DHA. You don't have to take DHA if you eat ALA from flax seeds and canola oil. Your body converts that to DHA and EPA. You want to limit your caffeine to under 200 milligrams per day, and you want to avoid certain herbal teas. Breast is best. You should feed your child breast milk until they are 2 years of age. Okay, breastfeeding requires extra protein, extra zinc. Eat more beans, eat more lentils, eat more chickpeas, eat more tofu, eat more cashews, eat more chia seeds, eat more flax seeds, eat more hemp seeds, eat more pumpkin seeds, eat more quinoa. Calcium, eat more foods rich in calcium. And if you follow people like Dr. Atkins or Dr. Wallach, you should know that you need what? You need to supplement. Everybody needs to supplement. So being that this tard brought up the food mop thing, I'm going to bring up what would I give my baby, if it was my baby, if I was concerned about allergies or things of that nature. Well, I would give my baby, my first choice if my significant other couldn't produce breast milk at a reliable level, would be a goat's milk formula fortified with DHA. Okay? That's what my first choice would be. If that was an impossibility, I would go for a purely hypoallergenic amino acid-based formula that is made from raw amino acids, that does not contain any milk proteins and contains the basic building blocks in their amino acid form. I would avoid partially hydrolyzed formulas or extensively hydrolyzed formulas. I would stick only to the amino acid based. I would avoid soy formulas. And again, this would only be if goat's milk was not allowed. I would probably utilize goat's milk and amino acid based formulas. The problem with the amino acid based formulas, some of them contain corn syrup. So you want to avoid those. So when asking this moron asks, do I support the use of lecithin or choline? I support the use of both. Okay, choline is necessary for phospholipid membranes, nerve sheaths, all sorts of good stuff. Like B vitamins, folate, and B12, choline functions as a methyl donor, so it helps with methylation. Choline is needed to synthesize the lipoproteins involved in fat transport. Choline is needed to synthesize acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter involved in mood, memory, and muscle control. Okay, choline requirements. This is going over basic choline requirements. You can read this on your own. Now, I like to go with what it suggests for a pregnant or breastfeeding woman because you want to max out what you want. So, breastfeeding woman, 550. What do you know? That's what a man is supposed to get. So you want to shoot for whatever a breastfeeding woman needs. People that bring up pesticides and vegan foods are morons that don't understand basic things like biomagnification. So essentially what biomagnification is there's stuff like phytoplankton and plants, and then there's things that eat them, and then there's things that eat the things that eat them. And every time something eats something, the concentration of that chemical intensifies as you move up the food chain. Okay, so then when you're eating, say, a cow is going to have more, say, DDT in it than, say, a blade of grass or a kernel of corn. Okay, so these are substances that biomagnify, chlorinated hydrocarbons, blah blah blah. So DDT, hexa, whatever, HCB, PCBs, toxaphene, monomethyl mercury, and any elemental metals like mercury, lead, etc. So let's see here. So this is about bioaccumulation and biomagnification. Bioaccumulation and biomagnification are two different processes that often occur in tandem with one another, blah, blah, blah. Okay, persistent organic pollutants. This is just showing you the same thing. So as you can see here, there's the little fishies, and they get a little bit, and then the bigger fishies, they get more of it. And the bigger fishy, he gets more. And then the big killer whale, he has the most toxins. So there are a lot of foods that you want to avoid if you're a pregnant woman. Avoid seafood high in mercury, and because of biomagnification, that would be big eye tuna, king mackerel, marlin, orange, roughy, swordfish, shark, and tilefish. Seafood you might want to consider instead would be anchovies, catfish, cod, herring, light canned tuna, Pacific oysters, pollock, salmon, sardines, shad, shrimp, tilapia, and trout. Avoid raw or undercooked or contaminated seafood. Avoid raw fish. You should be doing this anyway. Avoid raw fish and shellfish. Avoid refrigerated or undercooked seafood. Understand local fish advisories if you eat local fish. Cook seafood properly. Avoid undercooked meat, eggs, and poultries. As you know, you're more susceptible to foodborne illness if you're knocked up. So avoid things like, so you want to fully cook your meats. Cook hot dogs and luncheon meats until they are steaming hot, or avoid them completely. Avoid refrigerated pâtés and meat spreads. Cook eggs until the yolks and whites are firm. So you don't want any soft-boiled eggs or sunny-side-up eggs. You want to avoid excess caffeine, and you want to avoid herbal teas, even herbal teas marketed to pregnant women. And you want to avoid alcohol. Absolutely no alcohol is proved safe during pregnancy. So nutritional deficiencies are not something that just vegans need to worry about. Regular people need to worry about them too, including people that eat meat. So calcium, numbness, and tingling in the fingers, and abnormal heart rhythm are all signs of calcium deficiency. Most adults require 1,000 milligrams of calcium. Again, if you're pregnant or lactating, or you're over 50 or 70, you're going to need 1,200 milligrams per day. I would shoot for that regardless. And remember, supplementation. Vitamin D, the thing that people don't understand, you're not going to find a more nutrient-dense diet for a basic diet than you are the Atkins diet, okay? If you're following the Atkins diet as it is, which is a diet rich in fruits, well, not fruits, it's rich in low carbohydrate vegetables, low carbohydrate fruits like tomatoes, eggplant, zucchini, squash, etc., cucumber, what have you. It's also rich in meats, fish, and cheeses. You're not going to find a more nutrient-dense diet than that. Okay, especially if you're eating like fish with edible bones. That's a great source of calcium, like sardines and such. So the thing is, Dr. Atkins recommended all of his patients supplement, as does Dr. Wallach. So let's see here. According to the NIH, so vitamin D each day, you want to get at least 15 micrograms of vitamin D each day. Okay. So potassium, if you are concentrating on a diet that is focused around beans, lentils, and other vegetables, you are not going to have a problem meeting your potassium needs. So things that can cause problems with potassium, losing potassium, is excessive sweating, excessive laxative use of diuretics, kidney disease, okay, constipation. These are some of the signs of potassium issues: constipation, tingling and numbness, and an abnormal heart rhythm. Iron, fatigue. Okay, so iron deficiency. So fatigue, shortness of breath, cold hands and feet, brittle nails, and more. I had these symptoms after being homeless and after being drained of blood by the emergency staff of my local hospital about 4 times a week or 5 times a week, because they're complete morons, when I was having heart palpitations. So when iron levels get too low, there may be a deficiency in red blood cells, resulting in a condition called anemia. Okay, now you'll notice that vitamin B12 deficiency has some of the same symptoms as B12 deficiency. This is because they both cause anemia. So vegetarians and vegans may be particularly at risk of B12 because plants don't make this nutrient, neither do animals, and I'm going to get into that later. Symptoms of B12 deficiency include numbness in the legs, hands, or feet, problems with walking and balance, anemia, fatigue, weakness, a swollen, inflamed tongue, memory loss, and difficulty thinking per Harvard, blah, 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 blah. Folate. So if you're low on folate, you're going to get fatigue, diarrhea, and a smooth tongue. Folate supports healthy growth and function, yada, yada, yada. Symptoms of folate deficiency include fatigue, irritability, diarrhea, poor growth, and a smooth and tender feeling of the tongue. Magnesium, loss of appetite. So if you don't have enough magnesium, you're going to have loss of appetite, nausea, fatigue, and more. Magnesium deficiency can cause, of course, loss of appetite. So to help magnesium levels return to normal, supplement, of course, but also eat magnesium-rich foods like almonds, cashews, peanuts, spinach, black beans, and edamame. You'll notice no meat is mentioned there. Okay, moving forward. Well, also look, you may benefit from taking a multivitamin. Keep that in mind. 17 deficiencies you will develop on a carnivore diet. Now remember, that was 7 deficiencies you're going to get just from being a regular person that eats a regular balanced diet if you're not paying attention to your diet. So, vitamin A, 3 B vitamins you will be lacking. You'll be lacking biotin, you'll be lacking folate, and you'll be lacking, what is the other one? So you'll be lacking biotin, folate, and, let's see, the vitamins, other sources, biotin, yada, yada, yada. So, let's see here, vitamin C. This is the problem. Vitamin C is not very high in most meat, okay? So, yeah, you're going to want to supplement with that. Vitamin E is in vegetable oils. You're not going to get much of that from your meat. You're not going to get very much boron, and you're not going to get very much calcium unless you're eating fish with bones in and things like that. So potassium, you're not going to be getting enough of that. Copper, not enough of that unless you're eating a lot of organ meats, and that's unhealthy. Manganese, you're not going to be getting a lot of that. Lithium, you're not going to be getting enough of that. You're not going to be getting any polyphenols, and you're not going to be getting any fiber, and you're not going to be getting very much myo-inositol, and you're going to get a lot of oxidative stress. So people who eat a carnivore diet should aim to reduce oxidative stress. Strategies include taking antioxidant supplements and olive oil and slow cooking their food. So, supplements recommended by the dude that wrote this article will be A, B9, biotin, C, E, and K, as well as boron, magnesium, calcium, potassium, lithium orotate, curcumin, resistant starch, psyllium husk, and myo-inositol. Takeaway: people eating a carnivore diet will be missing essential nutrients. Okay? If you intend to stay on the carnivore diet over the long run, talk to your doctor about supplementing with missing nutrients and polyphenols. It's possible to get most nutrients from a carnivore diet if it includes organs and seafood. The most difficult nutrients to source from meat are vitamin C, boron, vitamin E, antioxidants, and fiber. Now, this is what's important. Remember, I said Dr. Atkins and Dr. Wallach and Dr. Dr. Cooper. They all recommend supplementing. Okay, Dr. Cooper is the father of aerobics. Well, why is that? Well, because vitamin B12, as the soil is becoming depleted, and I'm going to talk about inoculation of the soil with microorganisms and stuff like that later, but as soil gets depleted, there's not a lot in the soil. So, and not washing your vegetables and things of that nature is not particularly safe or healthy. And drinking, there were a lot of these Silicon Valley nerds that were drinking unfiltered water from lakes and streams and shit. That's not healthy. Okay? Farm animals never see grass in their life. Your meat animals. So here's a vitamin B12 supplement. They wouldn't have any vitamin B12 in their system if it wasn't supplemented to them. So they don't naturally have B12 in them either because it's made by the bacteria in the dirt. Unwashed vegetables, not a safe way. Okay? Symptoms of B12 deficiency include weakness, tiredness, lightheadedness, heart palpitations, shortness of breath, pale skin, and a very smooth tongue, constipation, diarrhea, loss of appetite, gas, nerve problems, numbness and tingling, muscle weakness, and a problem walking, vision loss. Regular blood tests help catch any deficiencies early. Spirulina does not contain active B12. Okay, fortified foods do, but again, if you're following a whole food diet, you're not going to be getting any fortified foods. So, going back over this, so it contains iodine and tyrosine, which support a healthy thyroid. These are different amounts and different types of seaweed. Nori, 37 micrograms. Okay, wakame, 139 micrograms. Kombu has the highest. Now, if you're looking, every calorie in this basically comes from protein. The fat that's in it is the healthy fat, virtually no carbohydrates, and the carbohydrates are basically fiber. Okay. It has a very good amount of riboflavin to calorie ratio. So the nutrient density is great. 11% of your daily value of iron, 14% daily value thiamine, 6% of manganese, and 47% of copper. Seaweed also contains a good amount of different vitamins, A, C, E, and K. It also has an appreciable amount of zinc, sodium, calcium, and magnesium. Seaweed contains a wide range of vitamins, minerals, iodine, iron, and calcium. Some types can even contain high amounts of vitamin B12. Moreover, it's a good source of omega-3 fatty acids. So it contains omega-3 fatty acids, B12, various minerals. Okay, and we're going to get into this about soil replenishment with seaweed. So I don't recommend a low food map diet, and I'm going to go over what a low food map diet is. Things like recurrent bloating, gas, cramps, diarrhea, blah, blah, blah. So you want foods that don't cause fermentability. They're not fermentable. They don't have oligosaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, or polyols. You want all of these, and you want all of these because they help with a healthy microbiome. That's why I don't recommend this type of diet. Food is eaten that contains food mops. Some food mops may pull water into the small intestine, yada 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 yada. By following this kind of diet, though, you are reducing the health of your microbiome. So this is a plant-based low food mop diet. What can you eat on a low food mop diet if you're a vegan? Well, to get calcium, you can have fortified beverages, collard greens, tofu, tempeh, almonds, kale, bok choy, chia seeds, broccoli. Iron, you would get quinoa, pumpkin seeds, teff, oatmeal, buckwheat, cornmeal, sorghum, spinach, sesame seeds, tofu, tempeh, bok choy, pine nuts, Swiss chard, sunflower seeds, edamame, protein, buckwheat, oats, teff, quinoa, nuts, seeds, nut and seed butters, rice, protein powder, 100% pea protein isolate, spirulina, edamame, miso paste, tofu, tempeh, soy-based beverages. For your vitamin B12, you can get fortified beverages, as well as fortified nutritional yeast, zinc. Remember, you're not going to get any of this. Remember, your animals that you're eating are supplemented with B12 too. That's why they have B12 in them. Zinc, pumpkin seeds, tofu, firm, blah, 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 tempeh, nuts, pine nuts, peanuts, almonds, okay, sunflower seeds, wild rice, okay, 10 ways to eat more plants, blah, 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 baked, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You can read this on your own. So this is a vegan low food mop, bunch of low food mop recipes. I don't recommend this kind of diet, but this is what they are saying. Now remember, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm blah, blah, blah. But I wouldn't recommend this kind of diet because I don't think that it's necessarily particularly a healthy diet. What I do suggest is taking glutamine. Glutamine is a major nutrient to maintain intestinal barrier function in animals and humans. Depletion of glutamine results in villous atrophy, decreased expression of tight junction proteins. Moreover, glutamine supplementation can improve the gut barrier. I also recommend taking digestive enzymes. Digestive enzymes are also shown to help with the gut health. So you got your amylase, which helps digest starches, lipase digests fats, protease digests proteins, lactase breaks down lactose, sucrase breaks down sucrose. All of these are necessary. Even if you're not taking in milk, lactase helps with a better gut microbiome. So instead of following a low food mop diet, you should probably just be taking a digestive enzyme. So symptoms of digestive enzyme insufficiency include belly pain and cramps, bloating, diarrhea, gas, oily stools, unexplained weight loss. Digestive enzymes versus probiotics. Enzymes are enzymes. They break food down. Probiotics are living microorganisms. What conditions can cause this? Okay, so chronic pancreatitis, cystic fibrosis, gastrointestinal surgeries, pancreatic cancer, any condition that disrupts your pancreas. Many people take over-the-counter digestive enzyme supplements for problems such as acid reflux, bloating, and diarrhea. These might contain amylase, lipase, and protease. and some contain lactase and alpha-galactositase. So the alpha-galactositase, that works with beans and cabbage and things like that, and lactase helps. They're missing cellulase, which helps break down fiber. That's also important. So this is the thing. Instead of having a food mop diet, cut highly processed foods. Also, don't eat so much sugar, which will cause dysbiosis. 12 foods that contain natural digestive enzymes: proteases, lipases, and amylases. Just went over what these did. So pineapple contains protease in the form of bromelain. So it contains a group of digestive enzymes called bromelain, which helps break down proteins into amino acids. Bromelain is also available as a supplement. Papaya contains papain. So papayas contain the digestive enzyme papain, which breaks down proteins into building blocks, including amino acids. Make sure to eat papayas ripe and uncooked, as heat destroys enzymes. Mangoes contain a digestive enzyme called amylases, which help break down carbohydrates. Honey, raw honey. Okay, so it contains diastases, which break down starch and into maltose. Amylases, which break down starch into sugars like glucose and maltose. Invertases, which break down sugar, which break down sucrose, a type of sugar. And proteases, which break down protein. Bananas are another fruit that has digestive enzymes. They contain amylases, glucosidases, Avocados, they contain lipase, which helps digest fat. Kefir is a fermented milk beverage that contains many digestive enzymes, including lipases, proteases, and lactases. Sauerkraut contains, this has a property. Sauerkraut contains, it has a number of digestive enzymes. Kimchi, similar to sauerkraut, has a number of digestive enzymes, as well as the fermented bacteria, which is a probiotic. Miso, that contains a number of amylases, lactases, and lipases. Kiwi fruit, that contains a number of different digestive enzymes as well. And ginger contains proteases, if I remember correctly. Yeah, protease. It's called zingelban. When we get back, I'm going to talk about the top 5 vitamins and minerals from the garden. I'm going to talk about the use of kelp to grow Chinese cabbage. What is the ideal soil mixture to grow food in, or to grow plants in? And what is a soil inoculant, and what do they do?